Hi, this is Susan Neely-Barnes, and I am the Director of the School of Social Work at University of Memphis, and I'm also the PI on the Integrate grant. Integrate stands for Interdisciplinary Teams Grounded in Apprenticeship, Telehealth, and Evidence. And I'm creating this video today to tell you about the grant and hopefully to convince you why you might want to apply. Okay, so Integrate is funded by the Health Resources and Services Administration, or HRSA, and it's funded by a Behavioral Health Workforce Education and Training Grant. The focus of the grant is on 7 topics, and those topics include interdisciplinary teamwork, integrated behavioral health, cultural competency, substance abuse and opioid addiction, adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs, telehealth, and then violence prevention and recidivism reduction. Okay, so Integrate is also a training program for students in either, if you are a master's level student, you must be in your final internship placement. If you're a doctoral student, you would be in the final practicum final year before going into that last internship placement. You will participate in a series of trainings. There will be both asynchronous parts of the training, and then there will be a synchronous part, and it will be an online synchronous part. It would typically be on Fridays. We may have to do some Wednesdays, and we will let you know. And those trainings would be once a month. And you must have your camera on, and you must be actively participating. And then it also comes with, this program comes with a federally funded stipend, and I'll tell you all about that stipend later in this training. So how do I know if I'm eligible to participate? So there's 4 disciplines that are eligible. That's social work, counseling, counseling psychology, and clinical psychology. If you are a social work student, you must be in your final field placement. And that can also be the advanced standing placement if you're an advanced standing student, or if you're not advanced standing, that's your second year placement. The easy way to think about this is if you're enrolled in the 70-53, 70-54 field sequence, then you're eligible. If you're a counseling student, either clinical mental health or school counseling, then you should be in your internship placement during the academic year that you participated in Integrate. Now, if you are enrolled in the fall in practicum and in the spring in internship, that is fine. Or if you're finishing internship up by the summer, that's also fine. And we will have the counseling faculty that are part of this grant to review your case and make sure that you're at the right point in your program that you are eligible. If you're from counseling psychology, you must be enrolled in a practicum during the final year of the program prior to that internship. And then the same is true for clinical psychology. And again, check with your faculty if you're not sure if you're eligible. And just to let you know who the participating faculty are, so you know who to check with. So if you're from social work, it's either me or Dr. Laura Taylor. From counseling, you want to speak to Dr. Brassfield if you're in school counseling, or Dr. Lee, Dr. Chi Lee, if you're in clinical mental health counseling. If you're in counseling psychology, you can speak to either Dr. Battistini or Dr. Leese. If you're in clinical psychology, you can speak to either Dr. McDevitt Murphy or Dr. Berlin. And then finally, I just wanted to introduce our project coordinator, Dr. Paige Perkey, who will answer all your just general questions about the training. I have some other additional requirements to go over as part of the training grant. You must be either a US citizen or a permanent resident, in other words, green card holder. Students on F1 visas or DACA are not eligible for the federal funding that's part of this. And unfortunately, that is just a requirement of federal funding, and there's nothing we can do about that. You cannot participate in more than one federal training grant at the same time. This is considered double dipping, and this is not allowed by federal training grants. So here's a list of some of the programs that would exclude you, and it's not exhaustive. There may be others. but you cannot be in this program and in MIBT. This is actually the same grant as MIBT, so you can't do this if you've done MIBT. You cannot be in MSW SDS or the counseling SDS. SDS stands for scholarships for disadvantaged students, and that would be considered double dipping if you took both. You cannot be in GPE, graduate psychology education. That's a similar HRSA training grant. You cannot be in MOPEP, which is the substance abuse training grant, the UT Bowling Lynn traineeship stipend, the VA training stipend, or CSWE minority fellows. And if you're looking at a minority fellows program from another organization such as APA, just make sure that that's not federally funded if you're trying to take both. So again, now, if you have been in one of these programs and you're finished with it, and now you're looking at doing integrate, that is fine. So if you did MOPEP a year or two ago, you're finished with it now, and now you're looking at this, again, that's fine. You just can't be in two at the same time. Also, another frequently asked question is about what if I have VA benefits? And you can, if you have VA benefits because you served, then yes, you can also get this program. You just can't be at the VA taking the training stipend as an intern and getting this at the same time. Okay, other requirements: you must be placed in an internship or practicum that includes interaction with primary care physicians in some way. Ideally, that's in integrated behavioral health, but we're not able to do that in all cases. So it's also okay if you are just having just other contact with primary care physicians that's not integrated behavioral health. You must have a commitment to working with underserved populations after graduation, and we ask a question on the application about how you might do that. You must participate in all the trainings, asynchronous as well as synchronous. And like I said, the synchronous trainings are usually going to be Fridays, usually a half day. Sometimes they'll be a little longer, and sometimes they might be on a Wednesday, depending on when our speakers are available. So the benefits of the program, in addition to the training, and I've talked about the topics, you will get a stipend. Master's level students are eligible for $10,000 in stipend that will be divided up over the 6 to 8 months of the training program. And doctoral students are eligible for $25,000. Now, that will be paid through University Student Business Services. And it'll be paid, probably once a month over 6 to 8 months. And then if it hits your account at a time that you owe tuition or fees, that will come out first. Otherwise, it'll just be reimbursed to you. Okay, how do I apply? This is the Qualtrics link for application. And this will also be available on the website. And we're asking for the 2021-2022 academic year that you apply by August 1st. In future years, we will have a much earlier deadline, but because this program is new, we were not able to have the deadline hit until August 1st. And then if you have any questions, I want to encourage you to email integrate@memphis.edu. And that is a list that we have created. You can also ask the individual faculty that I have listed in an earlier slide in your specific discipline. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation, and I hope you'll consider applying to integrate.